Hey there, Ebby here. Welcome back to the channel. This right here, this box you see right here, this is Portra 100T. I was able to get my hands on 4 boxes, about 20 rows of Portra 100T in 120. Over the past month and a half, I've been taking it out with me with my Pentax 6x7, shooting it in different lighting conditions just to see how this film stock responds and if it's something that you should spend your money on. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about the history of this Portra 100T, showing you some of the results I was able to get, as well as giving you some of my opinions when it comes to actually seeing the results that you get from this expired batch of Portra 100T. Let's dive right into this one. Portra 100T is part of the Kodak Portra family of film stocks. It's part of the same family that introduced Portra 160NC, 400NC, and the VC line of Portra films. Kodak is known for making a number of tungsten balanced films. And based on the research that I did, a lot of those tungsten balanced films that he made in the past were made for E6 slide film. Portra 100T is one of those rare film stocks that Kodak made that could be developed in C41. If you know anything about developing films, you know that E6 takes a little bit longer than developing C41, and it's one of the less desirable means of developing films, mostly because of the chemicals involved and also the amount of time it takes to develop film. According to the data sheet for this film, Portra 100T film features outstanding color accuracy under tungsten illumination. Long exposure time has a minimal effect on the color balance and contrast. You can use Portra 100T for advertising, architecture, commercial, and industrial photography. One of the main things that I noticed missed out from the data sheet is that they didn't say this can be used for shooting portraits, which I find kind of interesting. As I said, and as you can see, I have a number of rows of this Portra 100T. So how the hell did I get my hands on so many rows of it? Well, let me tell you a story. As someone who really loves film photography and who doesn't have a lot of money to spend, I'm usually on Facebook Marketplace looking for a deal. And one of those days while I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, I saw someone selling a brick of FP4 and they said, "Give me your best offer." I messaged a person and I said, "I'll give you 50 bucks for this brick of FP4. And he was like, "Okay, I accept your deal, but you have to come pick it up in person." The place where he was living is an hour and a half away from where I live in Toronto, Canada. So I had to drive an hour and a half there and an hour and a half back, which is 3 hours in total. Going into that day, I'm like, you know what? That's a pretty long drive, all for a brick of FP4. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not really feeling it. But for some reason, when I woke up that morning, I'm like, you know what? It's gonna be a nice day. I could take some pictures on the way there. I can leave early in the morning and be back in time to take my daughter to her dance practice. It's a win-win situation. So I drive up there, take my pictures along the way, and as I get there, this guy comes up with so many rolls of film. And I see this box of 4 boxes of Portra 100T, and I'm like, what is this? I've literally never heard of this film stock. And he's like, yeah, my dad was an avid photographer. He kept a bunch of these rolls in the fridge. I have no use for them. We're selling out some of his stuff because unfortunately he passed away. And I'm like, yes, how much? He's like, yeah, just give me 50 bucks for the whole thing. And I'm like, what? It was actually my lucky day. And I'm like, thank you so much. Here's the 50 bucks. I took all these rolls that you can see in the picture right here, FP4, Portra 100T, T-Max 100, and a couple of loose rolls of XP2, and even an AG4 160 and 120. And I was literally in heaven. The drive back, I can't tell you how long it took. It took longer because there was traffic at that time, but in my mind, it didn't take that long. And once I got home, I loaded up the Portra 100T just to test it out because I had a bunch of them so I can literally test it out. I shot it at 100, which is box speed, shot it at 50, 1 stopover, shot at 25, 2 stopover. The box of films all expired in 2003. So according to the 1 stop per decade rule, you'd have to shoot it at 25 ISO, but I really wanted to test it out just to see what the images look like in different stops and what I can get from it. After developing and scanning the rolls, I found that the best results for this film stock came with shooting it at 25 ISO. So I knew for the rest of the film stocks in this batch, I'd have to shoot them at 25 ISO. I'm going to be showing you some of the images as well as some of the conditions that I shot them in so you can see what this Portra 100T looks like. And yeah, let's just dive right into this. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about the results on the other side of all these clips. Let's go. Top, some sort of greenish, orangish. First and foremost, the images are very, very sharp. I'm excited with the sharpness that came out of the image, because usually with the expired film, the first thing that goes is sharpness. The next thing that goes is you get a lot more grain. But with low ISO film, you usually don't get that much grain in the image. So I'm really, really impressed with the sharpness that you get from this. Next thing is the colors. I'm not too gassed up on the colors. With expired film, you usually get like a color cast. Now, even when I was researching this film online, I couldn't really see what a fresh batch of Portra 100T looks like, because most of the images that I found were all expired, and with expired film, you get a color cast, and this one is not different. I have a green, purplish sort of color cast over most of these images. They can be color corrected out, but when you originally get the scans, you will see a color cast on the image. With those two things being said, I am really, really impressed with the results I was able to get. Once I'm able to tweak the colors, once I'm able to tweak the exposure and add some light to it, I am absolutely impressed with the results I'm able to get from this Portra 100T. I love the way the primary colors shine. I love the reds, the blues, the greens. Everything comes out looking really, really nice, and I'm able to play around with it and give it the look that I really want to get with this image. When it comes to the images that were shot at night, I am really impressed with this film stock at night. I know the data sheet said that it's good for long exposures and it's good under tungsten light, but sometimes they say that and it doesn't shine through, but this one actually shines through. Shooting it at night, the images are amazing. You get a good color consistency, you get good sharpness, and you get good representation of colors under different lighting conditions. So if you plan on shooting Portra 100T, if you only have one roll, I would suggest shooting it at night to get good, interesting, at least, images and results. When it comes to the actual price of this film stock is not cheap. If you're looking to buy it on eBay, you're probably gonna get $25 per roll, or you're looking at something like $100 for a box. That's if you can even find it. With me right now, I only have 5 rolls left. I shot 15 rolls on a different light conditions in different situations with different subjects, and I was really happy with the results I was able to get. I'm going to be keeping these 5 rolls, keeping them very close to my chest, shooting them very sparingly, and just saving them for pretty good conditions. I'll probably go out to shoot a lot of them at night because I really like the way the night images came out. So maybe down the line somewhere, I'll probably be making a Portra 100T at night video. So stay tuned to the channel if that's something that you want to see. That brings me to the end of this video. I'm going to be posting all of the images on my blog, FilmStockReel.com. Also, I'll be posting some of my thoughts and images on Threads. So if you're not following me on Threads, make sure you do. All my links are going to be right under the like button in the description down below, so make sure you check them out. Until next time, make sure you stay safe, make sure you shoot film, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye. Yeah. Hopefully that was recorded.